this Excel tutorial, I'm going to show you how to filter data in Excel 2016. Filtering allows us to quickly retrieve data based on certain criteria. If you look at this particular spreadsheet, it's about orders of some kind. You can see that there are close to 10,000 entries here. This is an insane amount of data and would take forever to comb through by hand. So to solve this problem, we're going to use the filter feature in Excel. So what I want to figure out here is how many of these orders were placed in Atlanta. So in this case, I'm going to filter using the city column. Now, before you get started, you want to make sure all of your columns have a header, like the ones you see here, because this is how Excel will filter the data. So once you have your header row and every column is labeled, you can begin to filter. Now, there are two options to get to the filter button. Both work exactly the same. They're just different methods and all about what you're used to. So the first one you can get to from the Home tab. And if you look all the way on the right side of your ribbon, you'll see Sort and Filter. If you click on that, you just want to click on Filter. And you'll see that everything now has what we call a filter button, and it looks like a drop-down arrow. Every column has one. So I'm just going to click Undo and show you the second method to get there. The second way is to simply go to the Data tab and click on the Filter button. These do the exact same thing. Again, just all about what you're used to and what feels more comfortable for you. So now that I have my filter buttons turned on, I'm going to filter by city to see how many of these were placed in Atlanta. So if I click on the drop-down arrow, I can see all the options in the city column. If I click here and select all of the options will deselect, and I can pick only the ones that I want to see. So in this case, I'm only looking for Atlanta. So I'm going to put a check mark there and press OK. Now, it may not look like anything has changed at first, but if you scroll, you can see that all of my entries are now based out of Atlanta, and there's about 39 or so here. If you look over on the left-hand side, you can see that the row numbers are blue and they seem to be mixed up and out of order. That's because it keeps the original row number with the entry. So the first Atlanta order appears on row 508 of my spreadsheet. So that's how I can go back and look when I have unfiltered everything. So I have my Atlanta entries, and you can see that my button up here has changed from an arrow to a funnel. It looks like a little funnel or a filter. That means I've filtered by this column. If I want to take it a step further and filter by another column, I can select any one. So in this case, I'm going to go by segment, and I'm going to try to find out how many of these orders were in Atlanta, but also for home office use. So I'm only going to check home office, and you can see that it instantly narrows me down to 2 entries. So this is a very simple, very easy way for me to find out what orders meet my criteria without having to handpick through 10,000 of these pieces of data. So if I wanted to unfilter any of this, I can just click back on it and select everything, and all of my data will come back just as it was. So this is a massive spreadsheet, and you likely won't deal with anything this big in your classroom. So I've made a smaller example here of about 29 students and their grades on a test as well as their class period. And just say you wanted to see what percentage of your students passed the test, how many of them passed. So again, I'm going to apply my filter, and then I'm just going to pick pass. And it will narrow me down to only the students who have passed. I can change it and pick fail. And again, I'll be able to see only the students who failed. You notice that the button has changed, so you can see what you're looking at, which one you have filtered by. So let's say you want to know the students that failed in first block, first period. So you filtered by fail. Now you want to filter by class period and pick 1. And now you see the 2 students in first period that failed. So this is a classroom example of filtering. There are so many options, so many things you can do with this, and there's multiple ways to use it in your classroom. You can use it for grades, participation, to fill out a survey or a sign-up sheet. There's multiple ways you can do this, and I hope you find it helpful when you are combing through your data.